Welcome back. They say you are what you eat, and I'm not quite sure where that leaves us with our fasting discussion, but I'm sure we have the technology, and that is why we've got Vanessa with us. Is that right, Vanessa?
That's absolutely right. You know, we love to have an app for everything, and there's a fantastic app called the Life Fasting Tracker, which is a really easy way to use a free app to start tracking your fasting lengths. And as we know, you might want to start with different sorts of times. It supports all sorts of fasting. It doesn't really matter what you're trying to do. It lets you plug it in, start and stop, register your emotions as you're fasting.
Angry, 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 sad, angry, angry, sad.
Well, I noticed there was a euphoric in there, so that would be perfect for you. Yeah.
Vanessa, do you fast yourself?
I do the regular, probably like a 12-hour sort of fast.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So with this app, you can also share with other people, I would imagine, like any other app or online publication.
Yeah, it's really fun. You can create a circle of friends and encourage each other and write comments on different people's fasts, like, go you, or let's do this together. I should probably try and push out my fasting trials now that I've been inspired a bit by the information you put in front of me.
And Vanessa, I believe that it's not just necessarily about counting what we're eating, but there's an emotional element to this which is really important, because I often say to people, don't count calories, count nutrients and listen to how you actually feel.
Absolutely. So there are ways of using really simple apps like Vora, for example, if you only care about the tracking things over time. But if you want something that's more about your emotional relationship to food, you can use something called U8, which lets you snap a photo of your meal in the moment and then talk about your reasons for having that meal or snack. So it's like, were you bored? Were you feeling emotional? Were you just hungry? Did it hit the spot? Was it healthy? Was it on the path or off the path of what you want to achieve?
I really love that, because it's hard to remember sometimes how you've reacted to something. If you're keeping like a diary, basically, you can go, oh, let's go back to those foods that really kind of serviced me.
And everyone's got really different goals in terms of what they want to eat. Sometimes they're just trying to build up the amount of nutritious food within their diet. Sometimes they're trying to limit snacking or do other things to help address a particular health concern at a time. And that has a lot of flexibility in the U8 app.
So with the sharing with your friends, I want to know that it's for encouragement and accountability, but not for unhealthy competitiveness, because I worry that there might be a space for that there.
I think it's really important for us to be mindful about where our friends are at in terms of healthy relationships with eating.
Yes.
And an app can't do that for us. So we have to think, is this getting a bit much? Are we taking the competition too far?
What about someone, I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I like to have everything laid out for me. Someone that wants an in-depth insight into their fasting. Is there an app for that?
I feel like the Life Fasting Tracker is probably the best for that, because it does track a range of things, like not just what you've eaten and when and how long you've fasted, but also your moods. So you can start to pick out patterns in your behaviour. And I think that's really constructive.
I think the most important thing is, if anyone's going into this, that they have a healthy relationship with food. A lot of people ask why I don't put calories in some of my recipes, and it's just not a topic I want people focusing on. Focusing on feeling nourished is where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you mentioned Vora. How does that differ from the others that you've mentioned?
Vora's a little simpler. It's less about the emotions, it's just the facts, ma'am. But some people love it because you can download your own data and then you can track that in different ways. So if you're an Excel spreadsheet nerd, then Vora might be the one for you.
Yeah, I like coloured pencils. I like being able to go, oh, look at me, I'm very good.
I thought you said you weren't competitive, Joe. Apparently you now are.
Only with myself.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks again, Vanessa. Great to have you on board as always. Seems pretty simple to me. If certain foods don't make you feel good, then don't eat it. Thanks again to Vanessa. Some good online inspiration there for people who are into fasting or want to give a bit more thought to what and when they eat. Up next, we go back to basics.